So let's talk about what's in your kit. Would you like to do that? All right. So I have the 5x7 chunky wood house. This is the large house. Love him. The other items in your kit are going to be this beautiful, beautiful napkin. I love napkin art. Most of you know that about me. I have a napkin club. I just love creating with napkins. And it says, gather here with grateful hearts. I love that. I think it's so pretty. You're getting the whole napkin, so you're actually getting 4 images. And we are going to be putting an image on the front and the back, because especially those of you that like to do cute little shelf sitters or put your houses into little vignettes or on tiered trays. I like for the back to look cute too, because you never know, depending on how somebody's going to be walking through, what angle they're going to see it at, and I think it looks pretty to look nice on both sides. Okay. Hello, hey Cheryl Birch, how are you? Thank you for the stars. Thank you so much. I did not see who posted that, but thank you so much for the stars. So you're also going to get a little embellishment bag here, and everybody is going to get some of this wonderful burlappy, kind of meshy burlappy ribbon. I love it because it's wired, so it holds its shape really well. So everybody's going to get that. You're also going to get some of this cotton twine, and I think this cotton twine is so cute. It's got kind of orangey fall colors, oranges, yellows. There's even some that has a little bit of teal in it. I think it looks so pretty. And then everybody will receive an acorn, okay? A leaf, a paper leaf. Now, paper leaves may vary. You may have a different color than this one, but everybody's going to get a leaf, paper leaf. And then a cute little mum, all right? And again, I think we have 3 colors of mums, so yours might be gold, it might be burgundy, or this kind of rust red color, all right? I made sure that the colors look good no matter which one you get. It's going to look really great. So I'm going to put these items all over to the side. All of those things will be in your kit. The only thing not in your kit is going to be paint and Crackle medium. Oh, and Mod Podge, so anything wet. So you are going to need 2 colors of paint. I'm going to crackle mine. Now you don't have to. This is just, I just want to show you this technique. I think it looks beautiful, especially with this particular napkin. So I am going to be using a Crackle medium from Country Chic Paint, and then Mod Podge matte, and a couple of different brushes. I've got just some regular paint brushes, and then also what we call a chip brush, just a natural bristle chip brush. Okay? All right, so with the Crackle technique, that's what we're about to do. I need a bi-monthly house kit. Oh, okay. I'll be thinking about that, Gail. Thank you. Yes, this is a dinner size napkin, Vicki. Thank you for asking that. Yes, it is a luncheon size is actually what it's called, so it's the large napkin. Okay? So when we do the paint technique, you need a base color. The base color is what's going to show through the cracks. So I have decided to use this really pretty kind of a, it's almost like a barn red. It's called Paint the Town. It is one of our chalk paint colors from Country Chic Paint that we carry at the shop. This one's gotten pretty thick. I'm going to spritz a little bit of water in it. Sometimes your chalk paints, they'll thicken up when they get about halfway, and all you have to do is just spritz them with a little bit of water. That'll be perfect. All right, so this is going to be my base coat color, this really pretty red. So I'm going to start off just painting this base coat color all over my house. So this is the color that's going to show through the cracks, okay? This color, Holly, is called Paint the Town. Paint the Town. Like Paint the Town red. I'm really glad that you're able to watch tonight. I had to kind of squeeze this in. I'm actually going out of town tomorrow. I'm going to be driving to Fayetteville to see my son and my future daughter-in-law. And then I'm just going to be there for Saturday and Sunday. And then I have a business retreat that I'm so looking forward to with some other business buddies. We collaborate and teach classes together. And we are going to meet at the Whatever Craft House in Newton, Kansas. Has anybody here been to the Whatever Craft House? Oh my gosh, it's like heaven. It's a little piece of heaven on earth for those of us that love to craft, that love color. It is it's a historic home that's been, and it's now a retreat center. And it's amazing. I'm going to try, I've already promised some people that I would go live and do a tour here on my page. So I will make sure that y'all know ahead of time when I'm going to do that, so that you can kind of come along virtually with me and you can see where I'll be and see what I'm doing. And I'll give you a little tour. I just love going. I've had a great, it's just been great. It's been a great honor to be able to go a few times. I've taught there a few times. And this time we're just going during the week. It's just 4 of us to work on our planning and stuff for 2022. We collaborate and teach a lot together. So I'm so looking forward to it. I wish I could take all of you with me. Oh, it's in, Michelle, it's in Newton, Kansas. Newton, Kansas. Look it up. It's the Whatever Craft House. It's based off of the scripture, whatever is true, whatever is noble, think on these things, right? So it's called the Whatever Craft House, owned by Meg Durskin. And I've known Meg for quite some time now. And I just can't wait to be there again. When y'all see it, when I take you on the little tour, you're going to see what I mean. Honest to goodness, it needs to be on every crafter or maker's bucket list. You need to go there at least once. You need to go. All right, I'm almost done. This coat of paint really doesn't have to be super great. It's just going to show through the cracks, so don't feel like, you know, it has to be just so. Just a quick coat. And then I'm going to dry it with my heat tool. I love this color red. Isn't it pretty? It's like a brick red, like kind of a rust red. I love it. Yes, it is, Tabitha. It is a tribute to the rainbow. And just everywhere you turn is like a beautiful photo shoot. And of course, I love that it's a historical home. It's over 100 years old. I just love everything about it. So y'all make sure, if you want to see this tour, I'll be doing it, I'll be there Monday to Wednesday, and I'm coming back home on Thursday. So make sure, if you're not following my page, go ahead and follow my page, and then I'll go ahead and post a time and everything. That way you'll know exactly when I'm going to go live. All right. She's all painted up. I'm just going to dry her now. Jenna, it is an awesome place. It's awesome. Sherry, you like the color? Isn't it pretty? I love it. It looks a little bit orangey, but it's really more red. It's just like a brick red. And I was just crafting here on my table, so hopefully I didn't pick up any little paper pieces. And again, don't feel like it has to be a perfect coat. Just one coat. You don't need more than one coat. It's going to look great. so I'll show you. Do you see? It's not perfect. It's just a quick coat. It's totally going to be fine. All right, it's okay if a little bit of the wood is showing through. That's not a problem. So what we're going to do next now is we're going to apply the Crackle medium. Okay, thank you for sprinkling. Thank you, Lori. Oh, it's a great destination for any kind of get together. It really is so fun. I think it sleeps 16. It's just going to be the 4 of us there because we're going in the middle of the week. It's just the 4 of us. We're not going for the weekend. But I think it sleeps 16. Beautiful old quilts on every bed, and oh, it's just awesome. Okay, so the Crackle medium. One thing I want you to know about Crackle medium, okay, and I'm using the Country Chic Paint brand of Crackle medium. We sell it at the Little Blue House, and after you watch this tonight, I'll post some links if you're interested in purchasing any of it. It's amazing. It works no matter what. Some Crackle mediums out there can be kind of temperamental, and they're affected like by the weather, the humidity. I've never had problems with this. It works great. So one thing you need to know about Crackle medium is it's meant to be stirred, not shaken. Don't shake it. And you definitely want to stir it because it does have stuff, good stuff, that settles in the bottom of it when it's been sitting for a while. So just mix it up well. I just use a popsicle stick. And now we're going to paint this onto the house, okay? I'm going to start with this part right here. So when you paint this on, I have a large jar here, but we actually sell it in a smaller jar, like the same size jar as the paints, about this size. And you want to be really kind of generous with this. It needs to look really nice and wet. I'm going to hold it up in the light so you can tell. Do you see how, there we go. Let's see. There we go. Do you see how wet that is? Don't skimp on this. You want to make sure you have a good coat of the Crackle medium. I'm going to go ahead and do the sides here too. And this is where I differ from a lot of people. A lot of people and a lot of brands of Crackle medium will tell you to apply your top coat of paint once this has reached like a sticky or a tacky stage. And y'all, I like for it to be dry completely. I think it works really awesome when you just let the Crackle medium dry completely. And yes, you can help it along with your heat gun. I'm just going to do this portion right now. I'm going to let this just sit here for a second. Okay, so some people will tell you to wait until it gets to like a sticky, tacky stage, but I promise you, you're going to see it happen tonight. I like to let the Crackle medium dry completely. I mean, totally, just completely. You can walk away from it, come back to it later. You can dry it with your heat tool if you want to before we put the top coat on. And just to make sure everybody understands kind of how this process works, if you just put the Crackle medium on and you don't do anything else, nothing cracks. Okay? Nothing will crack. Nothing cracks until you put the top coat of paint on. Okay? It's the top coat of paint that reacts with the Crackle medium, and that is what will separate and give you this awesome cracklage, is what I like to call it. And then this red color is going to show through the cracks. Okay? So tonight I was toying with either using Simplicity or Vanilla Frosting. Simplicity is a stark white, or Vanilla Frosting is like a warm white. So I think I'm going to use Vanilla Frosting. I've got it right here. It's ready to go. I think it'll look pretty with this napkin, but really any light color will look good with this. So a white, a cream, an off-white, you know, something like that, I think will look really nice with this particular napkin. Thank you, Wava. How sweet of you. Thank you. Hi, Terry. Hello. Susan, you want to try the Crackle? Oh my goodness, you've got to order some Crackle. I have to send you some because it is just amazing. Susan, that's here watching right now, Susan is from Clear Scraps. So I use a lot of her surfaces all the time. And Susan needs to be crackling some of her beautiful wood pieces. Oh, I never even heard of that. Mrs. O'Leary's art store in Wichita, Kansas. Okay. I have to pick a couple of the girls up at the airport in Wichita, so we might have to make a little stop in there. Thank you for letting me know that. No, this red is a paint. I actually just painted this out with a red paint, and I have put Crackle Medium on top of it. And I'm going to go ahead and start drying it. It's with Crackle Medium, you can't really do the whole house at one time. You're going to have to kind of do one side at a time, or a side and the edges is what I'm going to do first, and then I'll do the other side. Let me lift it up here just a little bit in my hand. Start kind of working on the sides. So I'm just going to start drying this medium. Susan, I like for the Crackle Medium to be completely dry before I put the top coat on. I get the best results when it's dry, and it's just very easy. And you're gonna see it's gonna happen here in just a minute once we get this dry. Now notice, girls, if you do use a heat tool, I'm using the Ranger heated craft tool. If you use a heat tool to dry it, make sure you keep it moving. Do you see how my hand is moving? Don't keep it in one spot for too long. Just keep it moving. It's kind of like paint. You know how like if you put heat on paint for too long, it will kind of bubble up? Well, the same thing can happen with your Crackle Medium. So just make sure that you are keeping it moving. And it's starting to dry. I don't know, can you see that? Do you see the spots where it's drying? It doesn't really take that long. I'm the world's most impatient crafter. Did y'all know that? So I'm always using my heat gun or whatever when I'm painting. I'm not very patient. Sometimes if I'm multi-crafting, I'll just sit it down and I'll work on another something, you know, while I'm waiting on it. We're almost there, girls. I'll keep some more on the side here. I can't wait to show you this. So I love crackling my pieces before I add napkin art to them, because the crackle shows through the tissue of the napkin and it's just absolutely beautiful. Makes such a, just looks so charming and kind of and rustic, and I just love it. All right, we're almost there. We are so close. Licorice is black. Kimberly, you are correct. Licorice is black. The color is black. This red is called Paint the Town. But several colors would work for this. You could use a pretty orange or a brown or something. Fall colors underneath. Whatever kind of fall color you wanted to use would look great. Okay, I think we're good. All right, I'm gonna start with this part of my house, okay? Because I want you to see. Let me get all situated here. So I'm gonna use vanilla frosting again. Vanilla frosting is a warm white, but you could use Simplicity, which is a stark white. We have another white called Crinoline that's really beautiful. Cheesecake is another one that's a little more creamy. So lots of different options would be great for this. Okay, so this part I really, really, really want you to pay attention to, okay? This is where you could maybe possibly go wrong when you're crackling. So I'm gonna take my house here, all right? I'm gonna dip into the paint. It is really important. You cannot go back over your brush stroke, all right? I'm going to say that again. You cannot go back over your brush stroke or you'll affect the crackling process. So what does that mean? Pretend like my hand is my house. I can't put the paint on like this. I can't put the paint on like I did my base coat or the Crackle medium, okay? I have to go in one direction, one stroke. So I want you to watch how I do this. I'm going to load up some paint on my brush here, and quite a bit of paint. I'm going to load it up pretty healthily here. And so I'm going to start kind of over here. I'm going to kind of press down, and the second my hand lifts up, watch my hand. I'm going to turn my brush around and finish out the stroke with the paint that's on the other side of the brush. So let's do this again. You ready? So I'm going to start here. Just press and down. It's already starting to crackle. I don't know if you can see that. It's already starting to crackle. Sorry, there's a... Ugh. There we go. See the crackle starting? Isn't that great? So let me keep going here. Start kind of up here at the top. Just turn that brush and keep going with your stroke. Now I like doing this with chalk-based paints, chalk and mineral-based paints, which is what country chic paints are, because they have a tendency to self-level. What does that mean? Well, like where these ridges are with the paint, a lot of times they will just kind of self-level out on their own. And I'm going to touch up just a little on the sides here. I've got this little piece right there. Let me put some paint on that. Remember, we're going to be doing the sides too. So up here at the top, I've got to be really careful. I'm just going to kind of drag some of the paint up here off the edge. Okay, so let's take a look up close. Look at all that crackle. So do you see that little paint ridges? That's what I'm talking about. A lot of times those paint ridges will just self-level out. And if they don't, if you get in a hurry like me and you dry them, y'all, you can just sand them. You can just kind of sand it down and it takes those off. But remember, we're going to be putting a napkin on top of this, so it's really going to kind of take care of itself. But I really want you to look at that crackle. Isn't that awesome? So once it starts crackling on its own, and I don't know if you noticed, but in the places where the paint is thicker, the cracklage is bigger. And in the places where the paint is thinner, the cracklage is smaller. And I like it to have a little bit of both. Like it looks more natural, like it's aged over time. And I think it looks great. So your heat tool is going to dry this, but it also helps activate the crackle process. So once it starts crackling on its own, I can take my heat gun to it and it's going to enhance the cracklage even more. So it's doing a couple things for me. It's helping to dry the paint, which is going to dry really fast. And it's also helping to really activate that crackle. I love it. So again, you got to you can keep the heat close, but you got to keep the heat moving, okay? It's so cool. Thank you, Sally. That's so sweet of you to say. Thank you. I love it. You can crackle on anything. It could be any kind of surface. Let's say you had a wooden frame, like you're going to put a picture or something in it, a wooden frame that was already stained. Like maybe it's already a really deep, rich stain on the wood. If you like that color, you could just put the Crackle medium on top of that. And then when you put your top coat on, that stain is going to show through the cracks, okay? Now, it is good, if you really want your cracklage to show up, it needs to be contrasting colors. Like I wouldn't put a cream as the base coat and then a white on top of that. Like that would be really subtle. You wouldn't see it near as much. All right, let's take a peek here so you can see kind of where we're at. Now, if I had been patient and just left this, these paint ridges would have kind of self-leveled out, okay? but I'm live with you tonight and I don't want to waste your time. So I'm going to let them just be. I'm going to let them dry up and then I can sand them down a little bit, or I may just leave them. I may let it add some texture and character to the piece. So let's go ahead and do the sides here really quickly. So again, I'm going to start and drag down. The second my hand lifts up, I'm just going to turn my brush to the paint that's on the other side. Same direction. Very important. Here we go. Little boop boop on the top. I love showing people the crackling process. It's just so fun. And y'all, I've done it at like a gajillion times and I still get excited. It's like magic every time I watch it. I just love it. So the sides are already starting to crack. So let me come over here and start drying this side. Actually, you know what? Well, I better not. I started to say I could put the medium on this side, but I don't want the heat to mess with it. I'll be patient. I'll be patient. Yes, I do sell it at the store. It will work on, yes, it will work on really any surface, Susan. You can use acrylic paints, but don't use anything that has a finish in it. Don't use a paint that's glossy or has any kind of metallic finish in it. It really works best with flat paints, okay? Flat finish paints. That's looking good. But yeah, any surface that you can paint, and that's the great thing about chalk-based paints, chalk and mineral-based paints, is you can paint them on anything. Plastic, glass, metal, obviously wood, canvas, fabrics, denim, burlap, whatever you want to put it on. It adheres to. It has really superior adhesion. Oh, this looks so good. And of course we're doing a little house, you know, we're doing a house, but I mean, you could do this on a piece of furniture, bookshelf, it could be anything. It's still just a little bit wet, but I'm gonna kind of hold this for you so that you can see. I'm gonna hold it there. All right, isn't that cool? Now don't worry, do you see how like you can see a little bit of red there? Don't worry about that. Again, we're gonna put napkin over this, but if it, let's say you weren't, you can always go in and touch up a little bit with paint in the end. And a lot of times I'll go in and sand them a little bit because I wanna see some of the color around the edges, things like that. So what I'm gonna do right now is I'm gonna go ahead and turn this over. I wonder if I should put this on a mat. Where's my craft mat? Yeah, let's do this because I was painting right there. So I'm going to turn this over and now I'm going to put the Crackle medium on this side. And again, be generous. Don't be skimpy with it. It needs to look really nice and wet. You don't have to flood it, but it just needs to be really good and wet. Go ahead and put some down here on the bottom. I don't have to, but I don't know. I might want this on a little pedestal or something. Okay. Oh, great, Norma. Yeah, there's so many different things that you can, I mean, you can literally, you can use it on anything. I mean, anything, like fill in the blank, anything. It's so fun. It's so fun to use. The big key is just making sure that you follow that stroke down. If your hand lifts up, turn your brush, bring the rest of the paint down. Just be careful not to go back and forth over your brush stroke. If you do, it kind of messes with the crackle process, because it starts crackling like immediately. So you just got to be careful about that. And then it's one of those things, y'all, where, does anybody here have, I'm sure nobody does, but just on the off chance, is there anyone here that maybe has like this little teeny tiny little bit of OCD? Just a teeny tiny little bit of OCD? You can admit it, it's okay. We all do at times. It's one of those things where you kind of have to just embrace the process and let it be what it's going to be. And that's what I love about it, because it looks so authentic. It looks so authentic because it is larger crackle here and thinner crackle here. And it just looks very, like it's just really aged itself over time. Oh, not you? So it is one of those things that you have to kind of learn, you just have to embrace and just know that it was meant to be that way, right? It was meant to be that way. Now, if you just, I'm not afraid to ever go in and sand things in areas, if you want to sand areas or whatever, like I said, the paint ridges or something. But a lot of times I just kind of let them be what they're going to be. And if you're patient, that paint will level out. It'll level out on its own, but you have to let it level out before you start heating it. Because once you heat it, you're kind of drying it in place. Okay? Aw, thanks, Joanne. You're so sweet. We all are like that at times. And sometimes it's so funny because sometimes it's just like a certain mood that you're in. It's like just, you know, the little things just bother us sometimes as crafters. All right, let's get this side dry. I just love this stuff because it just works so great every single time. We're almost there. Almost dry. Yeah, Norma, you're exactly right. You got to kind of trust the process. And just go with it. And it will come out the way it's supposed to come out. Okay, I think we're good. All right. I'm going to do the little bottom area of this one first. That way I can set it down. So remember, just don't go over your brush strokes. That's good. I mean, it just starts immediately, like it's already crackling right now. Like that's how fast it starts. Okay, let's do, here we go, ready? I'm gonna go down. The second my hand just naturally lifts up, I'm gonna turn my brush and drag the paint down the rest of the way. And if I lift it up twice, sometimes I have to come back in and add more paint. I mean, look, immediately starts crackling. Immediately. That's why you can't go back over your strokes. And it's so hard. I know, it's so hard. Sometimes you just forget. You start painting and then you're like, oh no. All right. And I'm going to come in here and just barely touch up the little edges right up here. And it's already crackling. Isn't that pretty? You see what I mean by how the thicker the paint areas, the thicker the cracklage? How it just naturally happens like that. So if I was patient, if I was a patient girl, I could just kind of walk away from this and these ridges would just kind of self-level out. But, you know, like I said, I'm not usually very patient because I'm ready to move on to the next step. So when you're making these at home, maybe be patient. Let the paint self-level out a little bit before you start drying it. But I'm going to dry it. Okay? Yes, it's Country Chic Crackle Medium. I'll post a link for y'all. Hang on just a second. Let me get this started drying. And then this heat is, the Crackle Medium loves it. Like it really, I wish y'all could see this part because when that heat hits it, it just really activates it even more. It's just great. And it really looks like old, chippy, crackled paint. I love it. Okay, let me post a link for the Crackle Medium for y'all. And if by chance this sells out, and sometimes it does on these lives, don't worry because we have another order that's already on its way to the shop. So we'll have more coming. So I can copy that. Okay, so let me show you how this is looking now. Look at all that crackle goodness. Oh my gosh, I love it. I love it, I love it, I love it. Especially in fall. Like fall is just such a great time for this crackle kind of look. Actually, I love crackle all the time, but it's especially nice in the fall. I'm just making sure this all feels pretty good. A little bit of wet right here, just from where I did the bottom. I'm going to go ahead and show you just a little bit with the sanding. I'm not going to do much because I kind of like the texture, especially since I know I'm going to napkinize this. Napkinizing is my word for anything I'll alter with a napkin. Okie dokie. So you could take a little piece of sandpaper, if you have a little sanding file, if you have like a foam sanding block or something like that. Any of these things are fine, where you can go in and you just kind of start sanding over some of those ridges, and they just sand down beautifully. You have to make sure that it's all really good and dry when you do that, okay? But if you happen to not be patient and let it kind of do its thing, you can sand those down, okay? Now I'm gonna napkinize this piece. Otherwise, I would be like sanding like crazy on the edges, like the edges of the block, like right here. I'm gonna just do some right here, like all around these edges. Because look, it's gonna show that red coming through. Can y'all see that? That's a good angle right there. All right. It's kind of fun to see that base coat color coming through on the edges. We're not gonna be able to see it as much with what we're doing tonight, but it's fun to do just so you see how it works. Nice and thick and chippy. I love it. I love it. Look at all that crackle. Do you see how just sanding it down a little bit kind of toned down those ridges? That's what you would do. You could just sand down the whole thing. You know, when I'm kind of a gritty sander. I like more grit. So I would lean you more towards maybe an 80, 60. I'm kind of a gritty sander. I like having some grit. Okay, we're done with that part. Do I have the sanding file in stock? Yes, we do have the sanding file. And I'll have to post that link for you, Patty. I'll do it when we get done here. I'll post a few shopping links for you. All right, we're gonna move on to, yeah, this particular sander is great because it's actually washable. You can wash it, clean it up. It's great. Little sanding file. Okay, so I'm switching gears here. I'm pulling out the Mod Podge. We're gonna go ahead and napkinize this beautiful crackled chunky house. And I like to use Mod Podge matte for this. Okay, Mod Podge matte is my favorite. If I had somebody else watching with me tonight, I would have them post those links for you. I'm sorry. It's just me tonight. So I'm going to cut my napkin here. And we're going to actually be using two. I'm going to have my ceiling fan on. That might be blowing a little bit. So I'm going to be using one for the front and one for the back, and you're going to have a couple of extras. And that's good because if you happen to have an oopsie or you need a do-over or a piece to patch up, you'll have it. We're also, as soon as, I think it's late next week, we are cutting more of these blocks to just sell individually as well. They're not ready yet, but we're working on them. Okay, so here is my napkin. I love it. Gather here with grateful hearts. I love the sunflower, the leaves, the fall leaf wreath. I think it's so pretty. And I'm going to show you how I separate a napkin, okay? I call it the lick and stick method, okay? So just my finger and my thumb on my tongue, and then just tap them together till they're kind of sticky. It's okay, it's your own DNA. And then you're gonna press with both those fingers on each side of the napkin, and look what happens. Voila, it just comes off. Now this is a 3-ply napkin. So if it's a 3-ply napkin, that means we have to take 2 plies off. 2 plies off to get to the very top tissue. And you can kind of tell it's gonna be very, very sheer. Show you the back. Very, very sheer. I'm going to go ahead and do this with both of the napkins here. Put something on that so it doesn't blow away. Now, if you don't like this method, you could use like a little piece of washi tape, painter's tape. Sometimes the second layer of the napkin can be kind of hard. Not all napkins, but sometimes that second layer can be really tricky, kind of hard to get off. And if that ever happens, sometimes I have to use like a little straight head pen, and I just kind of pick at it. Did I get something paint on my glasses? I sure did. I'll have to sand that off later. I'm such a messy painter. How did I do that? Jeez Louise. Okay. So now those are separated. Okay, so I need yet another clean brush here. I'm going to start with the front side of the house. Okay, starting with the front side of the house. Oh, you're getting an echo? Oh, I'm sorry. There's nothing, no kind of sound is happening on my end. I'm going to take my Mod Podge now and put a nice healthy coat, again, healthy coat, over this front side of my house. It'll come off. I'm not worried about it. I've gotten paint all over my glasses before, so no worries. So again, nice healthy coat. It needs to be really wet, right? And I'm going to take my napkin. Now I want you to kind of watch as I do this. I like to position the top part first and let the rest of the napkin kind of float down, okay? So I'm going to bring this to where, do you see what I'm saying? I'm kind of bringing it from here and I'm kind of lifting it up and dragging it down, except for the ceiling fan. There we go. And then once I have this on here, I'm going to just barely kind of tap it. There's going to be a little tip of your house right up here that does not have napkins. So I'm just going to cut a little corner off. And I'm going to put it right there on the top. So now that it's on, I'm going to take my natural bristle chip brush, just a chip brush. It's dry, nothing on it, no Mod Podge, totally dry. And I'm going to use this as what I call a pounce brush. So I'm going to go up and down. And what I'm doing, girls, is I'm really pushing this napkin tissue, which is really thin. I'm pushing this napkin tissue into all that texture we just made. I'm pushing it into all that crackle. And it's going to be gorgeous. Now while I'm at it, I'm going to go ahead and wrap the sides. So I'm going to take some more Mod Podge right here on the sides of the house and just lay that down into it and pounce. Okay, I'm going to do it on the other side as well. So fun to make. And then we have, this is a series. So this is the fall house. Our next house will be Christmas. I'm super excited about it. And they will also be this larger size. So now that I have the sides down here and here, I'm going to put this up. Well, let's go ahead and let me show you what it's looking like on the front. See the crackle coming through? Okay. Now you're going to see even more of that crackle when I put the top coat on here in just a moment. But let me go ahead and show you how I'm going to do this part up here. Do you see where when I push this down, do you see how it kind of makes this little, I'm just going to kind of squeeze that with my fingers, kind of pinch over it. And then I'm going to cut that part off. I'll show you again on the other side just a second. And then we're just going to lay that down and pounce. So let's watch on this side. I'm going to lay this down, and what happens is it kind of just creates this little, like a little edge here. And I'm just taking my scissors and cutting that off. Really super simple. And then we're going to lay that piece down and pounce. Okay, so what I'm going to do next is I'm going to pop this with just a little bit of heat. Just a little, just going to dry it just a little bit so that I can put the top coat on it. So let me explain, that's good. Let me explain why I'm doing the top coat. First off, we all have to remember, as beautiful as this is, it's still a napkin, right? It's still a napkin. And a napkin's purpose in life is to absorb. So if dirty hands get on this, I have little grandkids, and if they love to touch things, right? So if they have something on their hands, it's going to absorb into the napkin. So I'm going to put a light, just a really thin, light coat of Mod Podge over the top of the napkin. And then the other reason I'm doing this is because this top coat makes the napkin even more transparent. And that is exactly what I want, because I want these cracks to show through. I want all this beautiful cracklage that we just made to show through this napkin. So I'm going to put a nice even coat. It is important to dry it a little bit before you put the top coat on, because again, this napkin is really fragile when it's wet. And even just taking a stroke across it with a paintbrush could possibly tear something. That's why I like to dry it just a little bit before I put the top coat on. Now it's going to be a little bit milky while it dries. But it is going to dry crystal clear. So let me get top coats over this area. Then we're going to dry it, and then we're going to do the other side. So does anybody have questions on this part? Oh, the crackle looks so good underneath it. Y'all are going to love it. And the thing is, it's only going to show up so much to you on camera like this. This is where I wish that somehow magically I could just pass the house through the camera to all of you to pass around so you could really see it in person. Because seeing them in person is just like, oh, like that's when you really see it all. Just looks so good. All right, so this part is on. I'm going to go ahead and kind of speed up our process here. A little bit of heat. I'm not going to take the heat quite as low this time because I don't want the Mod Podge to bubble. Oh, that's so sweet of you to say, Amarita. That's awesome. Thank you, Sally. The Crackle medium says sold out, Maureen. Okay, then I can go in there and I can add the shipment that's coming. We've already ordered it. It's coming. So I'll go in as soon as this live is over and I'll add more inventory, and that way y'all can pre-order it, so as soon as it gets here we can ship it out to you. I'll be happy to do that. See how quick? I mean, it really dries really quickly. You just got to keep the heat kind of up. So let me show you this. I'm going to try to pick out areas so that you can really see. Look at that bottom corner. Look at that crackle. And I love this napkin has kind of got different variations of color in the background. I think it looks so good. I love it. And when y'all do yours on when y'all do yours with your kit, then you're really going to see how amazing it looks. It looks so good. All right. I'm dry enough. I'm going to lay this down this way. Now we're going to do the same thing on this side. Make sure my glue gun's on. Yeah. Yes, I will increase that inventory as soon as we get off the live. And the Gather House kits, I can increase that as well because we are kitting more of these. This kit is $15. I think I mentioned that. And of course it comes with everything you need except for the wet stuff, the paint and stuff. Paint in the Crackle medium. Okie dokie, let's put this one on. So I like to kind of start from the top and then kind of drag down in place. Perfect. And remember, I've got that little teeny tiny little tip. Just need to cut off a little corner for right here at the top of the house. This looks so good. Never get tired of it. I never, ever get tired of it. Okay, let's do our sides. Now, did y'all remember to sprinkle? If you signed on late, make sure you sprinkle this video out because one lucky sprinkler is going to win a kit. And I will make that announcement tomorrow Give y'all some time, and people that are watching the replays some time to watch. Plenty of time to sprinkle. And what happens is these napkins kind of meet on the side here, so it takes care of our sides. It's really good. See what I mean? They just kind of meet up. Okay, let's do the top part here. And again, I'm just going to kind of lay this down. It kind of creates a little, just going to cut off that little excess in the corner. Now I'm just letting this just kind of fold over. We're not going to put napkin on this top part. We're going to have other stuff going on up there, so you're never going to be able to see it. Let's do this side, same thing. This is fun. I like Friday night crafting. Kind of a stress release from the week. It's been a busy week. Okay. Here we go. Try to hold them up kind of close. This one has more texture on it. This one I did not sand down. This is the side I did not sand. So it's got a little more texture on it. I think it looks pretty cool. Okay, let's dry this just a little bit before I put the top coat on this side. So that top coat is sealing the napkin, which is going to protect your project. And it's also making the napkin more transparent. Okay, so let me pose a question to you. Let's see, I'm going to pick on somebody. I'm going to pick on Kelly Thornton. I'm going to pick on you. So if Kelly was doing, I know Kelly, so I can pick on her. If she was doing this project and she decided she wanted to paint her top coat aqua blue, her top coat, right? And then she goes to napkinize it. You have to know this, that aqua blue is going to show through the napkin. It's going to show through the napkin. And then guess what? Those yellow sunflowers, they might look more green because blue and yellow make green. Okay? So keep that in mind when you're napkinizing. You have to think about what the color is going to look like coming through the napkin. That's why I really like to use lighter colors. And that way the napkins stay more pure to their color. All right. Okay, let's dry this, and then we're going to decorate her. We're going to decorate her up. Add the frills. Yeah, I like doing both sides. I just think it's cute. I like for things to look pretty from both sides, especially because a lot of us, including myself, I love to put these on trays. I love to make little vignettes, you know, different levels of things, and you see things a lot from all angles. Okay, let's look on this side. Like, look at that tip up there. Look at those beautiful crackles coming through. You still see the texture. I love it. It looks so good. So pretty. Okay, I want to show y'all something that I love to do to napkins, okay? It's optional. You don't have to do it, but once you start doing it, you're like, oh my gosh, like I love how this looks. I want to do this. So I'm going to use, this is a pit pen. So basically you need to, this is by Faber-Castell. It's just a pit pen. It's got a small tip on it. So it's a fine point black journaling pen. But it has to be one that's going to be steadfast. So what does that mean? That means it has to be a pen that when it dries, it's not going to smear. It's not going to react with water, any of those things. Okay? I'm going to do some pen work on my sunflowers. So I'm going to show this to you before. I'm just going to do this little one right here. Okay, see this one? Look at it before. And now I'm going to do some pen work on here. Let me make sure this is totally dry. You don't ever want to do pen work unless your top coat is really dry. Okay? Because it'll gunk up your pen and it'll mess up your pen. So I like these pit pens by Faber-Castell because they're kind of made for mixed media. So they're my favorite pens to use if I'm doing any pen work on napkinized projects. Okay. Okay, so here we go. I'm going to come in now. And I'm going to do this very fast. I think this looks better the faster you do it because you're not thinking. The second you start thinking, then that's when your hands start to get shaky and all the things. However, this kind of pen work looks good when your hands are kind of shaky, actually. Just kind of artsy and very quick. I'm going to do some little lines through some of these petals. I love it. I love it. I love it. Okay, you ready? Now look at my sunflower. Look at the sunflower on the top and look at the sunflower down below. Isn't that amazing what a little bit of pen work will do? I love it. I'm going to do some here on the top. And again, I don't have to worry. This is permanent. It's going to be steadfast. It's not going to react with water again. If you can't see all the petals, you just kind of make up your own petals. I love adding a little pen work. And I don't do it to everything, but sometimes, man, it just really accentuates and it can really make your image really, really pop. Now this goes over here on the edge, so I'm going to finish out these little bits of petals that are showing on the edge. Look at that. Isn't it amazing what a little bit of pen work will do? Oh my gosh, I love it. Yeah, you could use yes, a Sharpie should be used steadfast. If you're not sure, Deborah, just put it on something and let it dry, and then like take like a baby wipe to it, or even just like that on your finger. Just to be sure, because, and you have to make sure it's dry. Everything will smear when it's wet, right? Doesn't matter what kind of ink. But once it's dry, this is, by the way, this is India ink that's in the pit pens. Uniball, Signo pens, you have to be careful of. They usually will reactivate with water. So I would just practice. If you're not sure about your marker that you have, try it on something, and after it's dry, see if it smears, if it gets wet. That's the deal breaker. We don't want it to smear if it gets wet. And again, make sure your top coat is completely dry. I love it. Look at that. Do you see how those sunflowers just really pop now? So easy to do. And they look, the faster you go, the better they look, because you're not thinking. You're not thinking. You're just, it's kind of like doodle drawing, doodle tracing. Yeah, pit pens, we have pit pens at the store, but you can find these at all of the major craft stores, Hobby Lobby, Michael's, Pitt, P-I-T-T, pit pens by Faber-Castell. They're great, greatness, okay? Okay, I'm not going to do the penwork on the other side. I'm going to go ahead and get this decorated, but I will do it. I'm just not going to do it in front of you. So that way we can go ahead and finish up. And so we are going to decorate this lovely fall gather house. And we're going to make a bow. How many of you are bow challenged? Go ahead, raise your hand. Shoot me some hearts if you're bow challenged. Anybody bow challenged out there? We're going to make a really, really easy bow. All right, are you ready? Okay, this is, I believe everybody has like 18 inches of this wonderful stuff. I love this. Look, do you see it's wired? So I love it. It holds its shape, makes it so easy to do. We're just going to fold this like a tribute ribbon. You know what I'm talking about? Like a awareness ribbon or a tribute ribbon. See it where it's crisscrossed? I can lay it down kind of like this. Just crisscross, just like that. Okay. Okay, watch this. If you're extremely bow challenged, you're gonna love this. So just crisscross like that, and then you're gonna take this part right here, the very center top, and you're gonna pull it down. And then we're just gonna scrunch, scrunch, scrunch it all together. Okay, let's do it again. We start like this, like a tribute ribbon. We take this middle part down and pull it back right behind where everything crisscrosses and scrunch it all together. And then we're gonna take our pretty cotton twine here, and I want you to double it. So this is two just doubled over. See how there's two pieces? Doubled over. And I'm gonna lay this down. Now because it's got wire in it, it's gonna stay, which is beautiful. That makes it so much easier. So I'm gonna have this right here, and I'm gonna take this, the doubled cotton twine, and just tie a knot right in the center. Okay, you see that? Here, this way. Right in the center. Can't get easier than that, girls. Really super easy. I'm going to go ahead and cut these kind of in an angle, the tails, just so they'll be cute. And then after we put it on the house, I may decide to trim it a little bit more. We'll see. So I'm going to go ahead before the bow goes on the house, and I'm going to take the twine here, and I'm going to tie this into another bow. Just tie it around both strands at the same time, and this will create a double bow. Okay, see that okay? Isn't it cute? Yes, there is a Christmas front door, Cindy, but it's not coming until the next round of napkins, until the November 3rd round. All right. Yes, if anybody's here and wants information about my napkin club, I will be happy to post a link for you. You can find out all the information on all the groups that I have at MissTracyCreates.com. Love for you to go check that out. Okay, so we're gonna decide, I'm gonna work with this side that I did the pen work on, just so you can kind of see the finished thing. So we're gonna puff up this bow, kind of puff it up here. I'm gonna be putting the bow kind of like this. So it's gonna be kind of over here on the side, and then we're gonna be kind of playing with the tails and all of the things. Okay, can you kind of see that? So I'm going to put a nice healthy glob of hot glue, and I'm going to kind of open up these loops a little bit, and be careful, I don't want you to burn yourself, but I also don't want these loops all smashed down in that glue. So now I'm just going to push down on the knot. And we can fuss with the loops. See how pretty that looks? So I'm gonna take the tails of these. I'm gonna actually just tie them together in a knot. You could tie them separately if you want to. I'm just gonna tie them together in a knot. I think that looks cute. And trim them, and then you can unravel them on the ends if you want it to look kind of like a tassel. Cute. Cute, cute, cute. Everybody see that okay? Okay, so now you've got a paper leaf, all right? If you're not crazy about, I mean, they're all fall leaves. Everybody, all the colors, they might vary a little bit. I think some are brown, some are orange, some are like a gold, like a yellow. These leaves have a little bit of a embossing on them. So if you want to, you could take like an ink pad, if you have it. You could take an ink pad and you can ink over some of the embossing. And it brings out some of the details on the leaf. Show you what that looks like. To see, just inking over it, it brings out that embossing so you see it. And on the front part of my house, you can decide. You can put the paper mum on the front or the back. You can put the acorn on the front or the back. I'm going to leave that up to you. You can put it whichever way you want it to be. I'm going to put a little hot glue on this paper leaf here. And I'm going to have it kind of sticking up. Okay, so it's kind of in the center of the bow, but see how it's kind of sticking up? You don't want it to be flat. It's going to be kind of sticking up like that. I'm going to do the acorn on the front of mine. This acorn, it looks kind of funny. I guess not all acorns are equal. That's fine. And you can put it on there any way that you want. Just snuggle it. I'm just going to squeeze it in there. Hot glue on the back. Okay, so there's my acorn. And now look on the back. Remember, we want it to look pretty from both directions, right? So your paper mum here is going to have this kind of pop dot thing on it. Just pull it off. Just take it off. You don't need that. We're going to put quite a bit of hot glue right here in the center. Nice little mound of it. And then you're going to kind of lift the bow, the bow up. And we're going to kind of squeeze, oh, I'm not even on the camera. We're going to kind of lift the bow up and then kind of squeeze it up. And that's going to make our leaf stand up even more. So it's like the acorn and the flower kind of come together on each side of the bow, and the leaf is kind of shooting up. So now it's going to look just as pretty on this side, right? You can fuss with your bow, however, as it does on this side. You're just giving it a little bit of a different look, right? Isn't that pretty? And then that way it looks great, both directions, both sides. Again, look at that pin work. Ah, look at all that pretty crackle. It's so awesome. So we just made the gather house together, and that was so much fun.